Okay, so now we are going to be talking about shoes. Okay, it is very important that as a shoemaker, you know you should be able to describe a shoe. Tell us what is inside the shoe. Tell us what is not inside the shoe. What is expected to be there, and if it is not there, you know you should be able to tell that this is probably not there, and you should just know how what a shoe should be like, the proper way it should be, and what it has started becoming by way of improvisation has started, and where you suppose put this one not there because say within Nigeria now, we are now putting something else. Do you understand? So so if I'm asking you now, as a non-shoemaker, let's say now you are not a shoemaker. When you look at a shoe, what will you be able to say? What do you think you'll be able to say about a shoe? Let's say this one, for example, that is in front of you.
Firstly,
Yes,
I think what I would cite is either it's beautiful
or not,
or not.
Abi, as a shoemaker, as a
As a
non-shoemaker.
non-shoemaker,
Okay, and that's the most, that's like the most important thing to everybody that wants to buy a shoe, is fine or not. All right, what else?
secondly, I'll think of the material.
Okay, good. The material, whether it is what or what.
A good one, or
So if you say
maybe if it's a strong leather, or
vanilla ice cream, or what?
I'm a non-shoemaker.
If it is strong or not, okay, good.
Yes,
Okay, even
that's what they call it.
no, even okay, I can.
The
I
first question a customer will ask you is,
This shoe strong.
this leather na strong one,
Eh,
it go last. That's
eh.
what they will ask you.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Sha.
firstly, you want to know by yourself if it's strong or not.
Before anybody can convince you
Yes,
that it is strong or not. Okay, so uh, whatever thing, that's
I might check the sole.
okay, good. So because we have people that have various so what should I call it now? Various soul choice.
Yes,
Okay, so I think that's like everything a non-shoemaker will want to watch out for in
yes.
a shoe. Now that you're a shoemaker, what are you watching out for? This color.
Okay. What I'll watch out for
Now,
as a shoemaker.
you are not watching out for something now. You know what's there. So, as a shoemaker, when you pick a shoe, what do you say about the shoe? What do you
The
know?
neatness of the job.
Okay, that the job is neat
Yes.
and the job is not neat. Okay. A shoe from Paul Parkman is in front of you. Now, Paul Parkman is an English shoemaker. Is it English or Italian? English shoemaker. And one of the shoes is about, uh, I think, $1,200 or euro or pounds. I mean, is it pounds or dollars? Okay, that range, £1,200. You know what that means in Nigeria money? $1,000 as at now should be about is you know 1.8 million. $1,000 should be about 1.8 million or something. All right, so that kind of shoe is in front of you. So I'm sure it is not the neatness that you want to talk about in that type of shoe. First, you want to be admiring the shoe and say, for Batman or George Cleverly or uh, which of them now. So the shoe is in front of you. You are not looking at the neatness of the job because the person will make the shoe is not my mate. My generation na shoemaker. So you get so what do you think about a shoe at that point? What is inside the shoe? What is not inside the shoe? What do you watch out for? Because you are now a shoemaker. What do you want to what can catch your fancy?
What will catch my fancy in that case still will be the beauty.
The beauty.
Because you
Abi.
just said something. This person is not my mate in the field.
Yes, it's not even my
So,
own mate self.
uh
Abi, I'm not their which one is the correct one? I'm not their mate or they are not my
no,
I'm
they're
not
not
even
my mates.
they- we are not each other's mates. Okay.
So, in that case, it's not my duty or right to complain or correct
Okay.
his or her job.
Okay, no.
What will still catch my fancy is the beauty. Oh, this shoe is beautiful. I like the color.
Okay. You like the color, you like patina, you
Uh-huh.
like this and that. Okay. Alright, so let's get to uh the deal of the day. A shoe. As a shoemaker apprentice, nobody will ever sit you down and say, uh, a shoe is this, a shoe is that, or this is part of the shoe, this is not part of the shoe. What you just say, you just start making the shoe. Alright, but first, I'm not trying to define a shoe for you. Shoe can mean anything to anybody. Okay, uh, shoes are those things that you put on that you wear on your leg. Let me use the term wear, or you put on your foot, that can protect the surface part of your leg and also protect the under part of your leg. That's the sole of your foot. Okay. That will not make a socks a shoe. Okay. That will not make a socks a shoe because it also wraps around the leg. Okay. And for the fact that we are saying shoe can be a slippers, say shoe. Okay, just say we say this one a shoe, that one a palm. That's our term here. But shoe by itself is something that you put on your foot, literally when you are going somewhere, or it's always on your foot, and the purpose is to protect your leg from the elements, the ground, the weather, or what have you. So that will literally tell us that there are two components of the shoe. The first component, just like we mentioned for the last, is the upper part, which is primarily to protect the surface of your shoe, the top part of your shoe. Let's say this is the shoe, your foot. Now this is my hand now. I'm just trying to say this is the foot. There's this part of the foot, which is the body of the foot, and this part, which is the sole of the foot. So a shoe will consist of the parts that will hold this top part and to some extent protect, because not all shoe will protect your leg. If you want to buy shoe for protection, that's why you can have safety boots. That will be for protection. You'll be sure of absolute protection. Okay, uh, but some level of protection, or hanging the sole to your foot, something should be at the top. Okay, then the sole part, which will prevent or protect your foot from hitting against the ground. Okay, so that's the two components that you have, the upper and the sole. Every shoe should have upper part to it and the sole part to it. So if it's not going to have the upper part and the sole part, if it's just the sole part that you have, that's not a shoe yet. If it's the upper part, that's not a shoe yet. By the time you combine the two parts, then you have a shoe. Okay, so do you understand what I'm saying now? Now the upper part can take any form. uh, I think that's the most complex part. Let's come to the sole part. The sole part usually consists of three layers, most of the time, three layers, but that will not mean that it cannot be one layer or two layers. Okay, that's dependent on the form that the shoe is taking and the type of shoe that you are talking about. Okay, now the three layers are the outsole, the midsole, and the insole.
Okay.
Take note of the three. outsole, insole, midsole.
So,
These are the three components of the sole that you combine one way or the other to form sole. So you can skip the midsole and have the insole and the outsole. You can skip the insole and insole. Can you really skip insole? Yeah, you can just permutate all these three together to form the sole. Now, what is the outsole? The outsole is very literal. It is the outsole is just literal. That is the part that matches the ground. So for this shoe, when you turn to the underside, this is the outsole. When you look at a slippers, the under part is the outsole. That is what matches the ground everywhere. Is equivalent to the tire of the car, the outsole. Okay. Now the insole is that part where your own the sole of your own foot, you know,
touches.
touches. So when you wear this very shoe, everything that your leg will be touching, not the body now, inside will be the insole. Okay, that will be the insole. But that will not mean that there's nothing in between. That will not tell you that there's nothing in between. Now, there's another part called the midsole. For palm and slippers, you will most likely have insole and the outsole as a separate piece. Okay, insole, you prepare your insole, you wrap it, then you now have outsole, you put it together. In some cases, you can have midsole, but most of the times outsole, insole. Now, for shoes, there's the part that we just nonchalantly call whatever we want to call it. Sometimes we even call it insole, but it's not actually insole. It is the midsole. The midsole is the part that when you are done making the upper, when you want to last it, there's something you last it on top. So if I have this last now and I'm done with the upper, I cannot just last this without putting something here first. So the work of the midsole is to hold the upper. Okay, is to hold the upper. So that part where you last on top is the midsole and is not insole. But for some reasons, we have we can and we could use that midsole as insole. Imagine I just last this shoe and I don't put anything inside again. Okay, so it is more like shuffling the insole to be the insole to be the midsole, because apparently when okay, for this shoe now, you can see there's this part here. I'm yet to add any lining, any marco inside. Everything you see here is what I used to last the shoe to the body. So imagine I just not put anything inside again. Then I want to, this one will not be acting in the capacity of the insole. Okay, but literally this is the midsole. Okay, so do you have a clue of what midsole is now? Yeah, so that is what you hold the upper to. That is what the upper wraps around before you now place on the outsole. Then by the time you are done, you will now insert the insole. Do you understand? So most of the time, insole for cover shoes, they are removable. They are removable. Okay. Now, we know the way we do it in Nigeria. Okay. Okay, we know the way we do it in Nigeria. That's even how I do it. But initially, that is not how it's supposed to be. Okay, that is not how it's supposed to be. What you are just is the third one. The third one. Third, yes, from Owelu. Um, this is how it usually is when you are dealing with a foreign shoe, like maybe a just clever, a properly made shoe. Okay, because I'm not saying our shoes are not properly made, but we have bypassed a lot, and I must tell you, there are a lot that we have bypassed, and we have now made them normal. You know, say when lie don't exist for many generations, it go turn to their own truth.
That's true.
That is what we now believe is correct. Okay, but that should not say person wey know the truth may know talk am, because the truth is actually heavy. Is actually, if you want, is just there, just that in our own community, in our own space, we believe something else. Okay, so this is how shoes are made when it comes to sew. For our sew, we can use different type of material to make the sew. For this one now, this is we usually refer to this one as makoso. I don't know what other people call it anywhere, but here in Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria, this is a makoso. Okay, we have another thing that you can use. This one now, excuse me, this one is Nora. Okay, and you can have crepe, you can have any other thing. Part of the outsole, before I forget, another important component of the outsole is heel.
Okay.
The heel is usually at the back, the end, not towards the end of the outsole. That's where your pressure is exerted when you are standing. Okay, the heel is a very important component of the outsole, but some outsole will not have their heel as this form. You can have it like everything will look straight, but this part will be higher. Okay, but the heel is usually always there. Okay, so what was I saying? We can use so many materials to make the you can use so many materials to make the outsole. You can use so many. Okay, you can. I hope I've been recording since. You can use so many materials to make uh, your sole, but usually the normal thing to use is leather. You must have heard of leather. So leather is what you use to make the proper thing to make the sole. Of course, leather might not be applicable to make some kind of soles because of the functionality of such soles. Okay, maybe for a safety boot now, or maybe for sneakers, or um, for sport shoes, you might not expect that they'll put leather sole there because of maybe the weight and the rigidity. Okay, so we can use, but for a corporate shoe, most of the time you have leather. So, okay, is the leather? Can you tell me the leather sole? Now, the leather sole they come in different thickness. You use leather sole for the outsole. You use leather sole for the midsole. You use leather sole for the insole. You use leather for the insole. Before you now, uh, this is what a leather sole looks like. It can be thicker, it can be a little bit tinier. Okay, but that's what you use for. So, but of course, it's very expensive, and me, I don't even use it. That's just the truth of the whole matter. All right. Now, after you make the way meat so are supposed to be made is such that when you put your meat so here, hmm, you last your upper on it. It is that time you now put welt around it. You sew your welt to the edge of the upper, and you now put your outer sew. You now sew the welt to the outside part. Okay, in such a way that you will not be able to open any part of it again. If you want to open the outsole for anything, maybe because you want to change it, you need to lose the thread. You need to cut the thread away. You don't understand. Very good. Very good. Okay, so this is what a meat sew will look like. Mm. It is just literally you soak your leather sew. You cut it to the shape of this one. You
You
soak it
soak it.
inside water. Yes. It will now become soft
Okay.
like momo. You now mount it on it like this. Then maybe with nail or whatever you want to use to hold it to the last. Then you now mold it by way of you can use this rubber tube wey dey take dey tie broom.
Yes.
You can use it to wind it on it.
Okay.
Because it is leather, that's normal property of leather, whether this type of leather or the leather for shoe. This thing, by the time you remove the cord, the elastic, this thing will have taken the shape of the last under part of the last. So this is the shape of the under part of that last that I drew pattern on when I was showing you this one. So this is the shape. This is the copy of the under part. Okay, that is how mid sew are made. Okay, so after making it, you see this hole here. You create all this hole. Then now just try and think of it. You will last. Meanwhile, this one is quite old. I just made it just to do experiments. Okay, so this is what you will last on, and this is the mid sew. This is the mid sew. This is not insole now. This is what you last on. After you last your upper on this one, you see this part here. You bring give me welt. Okay, this is what leather welt looks like. This is welt. But you see this one here. They are, we just come to I just hear say that wet. Okay, but I just come to know say that wet by way of say I'm a shoemaker in Nigeria. Okay, so this is welt. Okay, on the edge of this shoe is welt. But you see welt, it's also leather, and it's like this. Even there's another one. Okay, this one has O already. Then it has this part to it that thread will stay. When you have lasted your hopper, the welt will stay like this. Upper is here, lasted already. The welt, you see all this hole, you will now pass needle. Alright, so this one will stay here like this. Upper is here, cross, then this one will stay at the edge. You cut sew here to here like this, passing through here. So that will tell you that this welt done is now attached to this sew and to this mid sew. It is also attached to the upper.
Yes.
So you cannot separate the upper from the mid sew, and you cannot separate it from the welt because something is holding them together.
Yes.
So after you are done, you fill up this cavity with cork. So part of sole, mid sole component, you can have cork filling. Cork is actually you know that thing they used to make bekins.
Okay, yes.
Yes, that thing they used to make bekins is called cork. You know, bekins is called cork soup. Yes, it's cork like that's on top of wine. All
Okay,
those olden
yes.
wine,
Like
wood.
dust.
Yes, so that's cork. Now you can fill here with cork.
How will you not get the coke?
Eh, Now we know now we want to get am for Nigeria now. They say am.
That is
Shey you get. Now after you fill with cork, or maybe you want to improvise, you fill with maybe marco, everything is flat and okay. You will now cover with leather sew. You will now cut it to the shape. You know this one is also on the leather sew now. You will now sew this one to the leather sew. Do you understand?
will it not be with hand because there's no hole
It's with
available
hand.
for that again?
It's with hand, but machine can do it. You can sew it with machine. There's a machine that uh, uh, the machine is called a Goodyear welting machine. You can use that one to do that. But the traditional method is to use hand to do everything. Shey you get? It is actually very hard. That is why all those shoes cost up to, if you valuate them in Nigerian money, in naira, they are nothing less than 800,000 for one shoe, nothing less than 800,000. If you are going to buy from already established brand, you can have it as much as maybe 2 million for the shoe. Do you understand?
Yes.
Have it as much as 2 million for the shoe. So that way, this shoe cannot open because of gum factor. You cannot say gum happen to it, it will not open because it's just based on thread. So that's to tell you another thing. This all this kind of soap we are making, they are called cemented soap. Gum is referred to cement. That na gum we just see the gum dem. It's only gum. We are at the mercy of the integrity of the gum. If the integrity of the gum fails, we are doomed. We are not doomed. The shoe is
It's
doomed.
good.
Do you understand? This kind of welting system, soul making, if you like swim Ovia river, come out. It will not cut because water will not cut thread. Do you understand? Don't worry, you will get to see. I'll find a video for you that will show you the entire process. Do you understand? All right, so that's that about. I think you understand something now, Abi. All right, so I think that's that about soul. Is there anything now I want to? So that is wealth. Wealth is also part of soul. It's the usefulness of wealth is actually to protect the soul and the shoe, to hold them together. That's the factor that can hold them together. That's how wealth came to be. But now wealth has started serving as decorative purpose at the edge of shoes. Do you understand? Wealth has started uh, serving as the decorative purpose on shoe, and maybe it also prevents the ex uh, it kind of close up the gap that might have been between here and here. Do you understand? That's what words now does. And I think that's all about so. So uh, let's move on to the upper. Now, the upper is also uh, the upper also has some few parts to it. Now, when you look at a shoe, you can see one part. You see that one part that you are seeing. That one part that you are seeing is the only visible part to you. whether you are a shoemaker or you are not a shoemaker. Okay. Now that's the outer part. Now when you look inside the shoe, you will see another part, which is the inner part. That inner part of the shoe is usually referred to as the lining of the shoe. Do you understand? Now, apart from the inside part, no, apart from the inside part of the shoe, you will also see, you will also see, uh, you will not see, come inside, you will not see, but you will know already that there are some things in between. Outside part, inside part, there are some things in between. You might not be able to tell, but that doesn't mean that there's nothing in between. Okay, we have leather outside, we have maybe leather inside as lining, but there are some things that are inside. Those things can include the top of, or maybe the front stay, the back stay, they are inside. Tape, like in this sense, is in between the lining and the upper. I mean, the outside part. Then what other thing you can stay inside? Any part that you want to use to reinforce any part, because sometimes you might put eyelet uh, uh, stiffener to make the eyelet part very strong. Okay, and what else? I think that's all about the upper. The only thing that you now want to worry about upper is uh, the way they permutate the different compartment by way of uh, whether you have vamp, you have toe cap, you have nothing on it, you have, it's just straight or it's not straight, it has brogue, it doesn't have brogue. That is what we make one shoe what it is. Okay, that is the only thing you can use to say, oh, not the only thing, that is one of the major things you can use to identify a shoe from, or differentiate a shoe from another. Is that okay? All right, so I I think I've been able to talk about shoes already. So the next thing we are going to do is to now differentiate shoes on based on all these parameters we have mentioned earlier. Okay, I I hope it's not getting boring, but that's the next thing to do. So, do you have any question before we move on? You understand everything? All right.